I'm Andrew Whooper, and welcome to episode 4 of the Irreversible Mix. Today, we're discussing breaking into major label mixing in 2026. It's not about sending cold emails. It's not about having the best plugins, and it's definitely not about wanting to get discovered. It's about positioning your work in the right places so labels start noticing you without you chasing them. Because the truth is, major labels don't go looking for mixers. They notice mixers who are already involved in things that are moving. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the 5 real ways mixers actually get on the radar of major labels. And by the end, you'll have a game plan to be getting on that coveted major label shortlist where the big fees and even royalties can become part of your business. Before we get into it, I wanna make one thing clear. This is not about what makes you a great mixer. We covered that in episode 2. Feel free to go back and watch that. This is about how your mixing work actually gets seen by the people who matter. Because there are a lot of talented engineers out there who never get noticed. And there are a lot of other engineers who seem to always be around the same records that are going places and getting traction. That's not random, that's position. The first way to get noticed is what I call the coattails event. You need to attach yourself to clients who are already gaining traction. This is honestly how the majority of top-level mixers get to the top. They become indispensable to their clients. Then those clients hit the big time, and they take you along for the ride. Most mixers think, I need to land a big artist to break in. But that's backwards. What actually happens is, you work with the artists who are starting to get playlisted, starting to build momentum, starting to get attention. And as those artists grow, your name grows with them. Labels are constantly watching playlists, streaming data, emerging artists. And when they start paying attention to an artist, they start seeing who's behind the record. And that's how you get pulled into their field of vision. Not by chasing them, but by being connected to something that's already moving. You establish your client relationship with the artist or producer while they are still coming up. Then they hit big and they tell the label they want to work with you and only you. Then on the next project with that client and that first one with that label, and that one hits big, now you're in. You have a big artist or producer as a client and a label that trusts your decisions. This is the outcome we all work towards. I've seen 5 or 10 mixers that are now household names come up through this exact same chain of events. The second way is to put yourself in position for a breakout record. Sometimes we call this the accidental hit. You don't need 100 big records. You need one record that cuts through. Almost every mixer who has broken in has a moment where a song takes off, a record feels like it's happening, and then suddenly people start paying attention. But here's the part that most people miss. You cannot control which record that will be. What you can control is how much you're working, who you're working with, and the level that you're operating at. Mixing 500 bad songs won't get you anywhere. You need to pitch yourself to clients who are making great music and build your foundation there. You need to be careful of building your business through services like SoundBetter or Fiverr. Make sure you listen to the music before accepting a job. Stay away from bad songs and bad productions. But if you curate your work properly, then more records equals more chances. More chances equals higher probability of having an accidental hit. Breaking in isn't about waiting for luck. It's about creating enough surface area for luck to happen. The third step, build a discography that signals motion. The discography that shows upward motion. When someone at a label looks at your work, they're not just asking, is this mix good? They're asking, is this person involved in things that are growing? And are they a part of that creative team? If your credits look random, different artists, no repeat work with those artists, no clear trajectory, no progression, it's hard to read. But if your discography shows the same artists improving over time, getting stronger, each project gaining traction, and you're a part of all of those projects, that tells a very clear story. This mixer is a part of something that's building. Labels don't just respond to quality, they respond to momentum. Your discography should feel like a trend line moving upward. The coattails event and the breakout hit event are still the most common and least resistance paths to becoming a major label mix engineer. This next one is a little bit more difficult to pull off, but if you do, you can blow up fast and on a massive scale. The fourth way is to be known for a certain signature sound or decision style and do something that no one else can do. If your mixes can be done by anyone, you're invisible until you have the coattail moment or a hit. There's no signal. But if your mixes consistently feel like a new sound or a fresh take, people will notice. If you can do something big and bold and sonically impressive, and here's the big key, without getting in the way of the song, then you've got something. A lot of times this happens in tandem with the coattails event. Jason Joshua is a perfect example of this. Jason was doing things with the low end, kick drums, and vocal delays that no one else at the time was doing. And when he had his coattail event with one of his clients, the entire industry took notice very quickly, and he became one of the biggest mixers in the world in a matter of a few months. People start to recognize it, and more importantly, they start to talk about it. Producers will say, we need to send the record to this guy. The artists will say, they just get how our mixes should feel. Your name starts circulating, not because you marketed yourself, but because your work has an identity. Labels don't just hire mixers, they hire perspective. The fifth step is to build a strong personal brand online. Having a strong personal brand is very important in 2026. And I'm not talking about teaching mixing or educational content. It takes years of proven experience to be considered credible to do that. I'm talking about showcasing your workflow, showcasing your releases, posting music videos, reposting your clients' posts, posting in-studio behind-the-scenes events, photo ops with the creative team, creating a visual representation of your career trajectory. These are the things that labels will look at when they are trying to decide if they should hire you. They want to see the things online that validate what they've been told about you. Personal branding also gets the attention of companies who make the tools that we use. And getting yourself product endorsements only makes you even more credible to a potential label client. Okay, so here's a bonus, and an underrated one too. Be easy to trust under pressure. Because once your name starts coming up, the first question isn't, is he talented? It's, can we trust him with this record? That means you deliver on time, you don't overcomplicate things, you make clear decisions, and you don't send back 12 versions of the same mix. In label environments, things move fast. There's pressure, deadlines, multiple opinions you have to juggle. If you can come in and simplify that process, finish the mix, and make it feel like the record that they all want, you become extremely valuable, and that reputation spreads very quickly. So, if we zoom out, breaking in isn't about chasing labels or waiting to get discovered or having perfect mixes. It's about positioning. Attach yourself to artists who are growing. Put yourself in a position for a breakout record. Build a discography that shows momentum. Be known for something distinct and special, and have a strong personal brand that backs up your reputation, and be trustworthy under pressure. That's how your name starts showing up, before you ever even reach out. The biggest shift you need to make is stop thinking about, how do I get a label to notice me? Start thinking, how do I put my work where labels are already looking? Because when you do that, you don't have to chase opportunities. They start finding you. Now, in a previous video, I talked about how important consistency is to getting to the top level of mixing and getting those top clients. And if you're still looking for help with that consistency, I made something for you. It's a free checklist that guides you through the decision process so your work, even being creative work, is consistent in its outcome and results. You can download it from the link in the description. So until next week, think about what we talked about. And in a future video, I'm going to talk about how we go about acquiring those coattail type clients before they blow up, so you can blow up with them. I'll see you guys next week.